On March 3, 1883, President Chester A. Arthur signed the Tariff Act of 1883, requiring a tax to be paid on imported vegetables but not fruit. The John Nix Company filed a suit against Collector of the Port of New York to recover back duties paid under protest. They argued against the tariff by pointing out that botanically, a tomato is a fruit due to its seed-bearing structure growing from the flowering part of a plant. At the trial, the plaintiff's counsel entered into evidence definitions of the words fruit and vegetables from Webster's Dictionary, Worcester's Dictionary, and the Imperial Dictionary. Both the plaintiff's counsel and the defendant's counsel made use of the dictionaries. The plaintiff's counsel read in evidence from the same dictionaries the definitions of the word tomato, while the defendant's counsel then read in evidence from Webster's Dictionary the definitions of the words pea, eggplant, cucumber, squash, and pepper. Countering this, the plaintiff then read in evidence from Webster's and Worcester's dictionaries the definitions of potato, turnip, parsnip, cauliflower, cabbage, carrot, and bean. The court unanimously decided in favor of the respondent and found that the tomato should be classified under the customs regulations as a vegetable based on the ways in which it is used and the popular perception to this end. Justice Horace Gray, writing the opinion for the court, stated that the passages cited from the dictionaries define the word fruit as the seed of plants, or that part of plants which contains the seed, and especially the juicy, pulpy products of certain plants, covering and containing the seed. These definitions have no tendency to show that tomatoes are fruit, as distinguished from vegetables mass in common speech, or within the meaning of the Tariff Act.
Are grains seeds or vegetables? In Son v. Magone, court decided that the lentils and white medium beans in a dry state, both mature and ordinarily used for food, though sometimes sold for seed, imported into New York in the years 1888, were properly classified by the collector as vegetables, and as such were subject to a duty of 10% ad valorem.
Now, carrot is a fruit. In 1988, the European Union changed the status of carrots from a vegetable to a fruit. This was a labeling matter rather than a VAT matter because in the EU, jams can only be made from fruit. After Portugal joined the EU, there was concern about whether Portuguese carrot jam could still be labeled as jam. To allay concerns, the EU adopted a directive that specified that carrot would be classed as a fruit for jam-making purposes. In 2001, it extended this to cover cucumbers and pumpkins as well, although, unlike carrots, at least these are botanically fruit.
Is ketchup a vegetable? The ketchup as a vegetable controversy stemmed from proposed regulations of school lunches by the USDA's Food and Nutrition Service in 1981. The regulations were intended to provide meal planning flexibility to local school lunch administrators, coping with cuts to the National School Lunch Program. The proposed changes allowed administrators to meet nutritional requirements by crediting food items not explicitly listed. While ketchup was not mentioned in the original regulations, pickle relish was used as an example of an item that could count as a vegetable.
Jaffa Cakes controversy. It was accepted under UK law that biscuits were a luxury item and the full VAT would be levied. But cakes, on the other hand, have been regarded as a staple food, so were zero-rated for the purposes of VAT. Customs and Excise decided to rule Jaffa Cakes to be biscuits, partly covered in chocolate, and therefore standard rate. But the cake manufacturers appealed against the decision and the matter went to court. The arguments for Jaffa Cakes being a biscuit included their size, as they were more like biscuits than cakes, packaging, as it was similar to biscuits, and marketing, as they were generally displayed for sale with biscuits rather than cakes. It was also put to the court that they were eaten as a snack, with the fingers, whereas a cake may be expected to be eaten with a fork. But the key turning point was when McVitie's QC highlighted how cakes harden when they go stale, biscuits go soggy. A Jaffa goes hard. The case was proven. As you see, navigating the law is full of challenges.